Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Elseworlds Exchange. Again, I'm Sal.
And I'm Joel
Today's
for a second
episode,
time.
I know, yeah, we had some technical difficulties in the last one, but welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about the whole Jeff Loeb, Marvel TV, Kevin Feige, Chief Creative Officer. What does that mean, and where are we going? And more importantly, what are our opinions? Who should stay? Who should go, if any? So we're going to get into that in just a second. But before we do, got some old business, some new business. Got to read the notes from the last meeting, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, I want to say thank you for joining us here on this Elseworlds Exchange podcast. This show is sponsored by you, the viewers like you who watch this show every week live here on our channel. If you use those super chats, you can ask a question or make a comment, collaborate with us in this episode, and those proceeds go directly into the channel and make the channel possible, / keep the lights on, / allow us to get new equipment and all kinds of other random stuff that needs to be in order to allow us to keep doing it, particularly on a weekly basis, which, you know, you're enjoying here today. So please, if you're of a mind and able to do so, use the super chats and they will be read here on the show live. If you do like this show, there's an additional show that you can check out over on patreon.com/ComicPOP, where Joel and I chat about something or other. That
It
somehow,
could be anything.
It could be anything, and it's somehow it's pulled from the episode. It's not an episode deleted scene so much that it's inspired by what we do here. So like we'll be done with the show, and we'll say, "Oh, that's a good point you made," or like, "Oh, you know, it's funny. I was just thinking about this," and then so it's a totally different tangent. It's a lot of fun. Check that out. It's called One Shots. Patreon.com/ComicPOP. So, also final non-topic related business. If you want to hang out with us, meet us this Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. at Zap Comics in Wayne, New Jersey. The entire ComicPOP crew is going to be there. So come to Zap, get some comics, find a really cool store, get some Dunkin' Donuts next door, and hang out with us. Watch us tape a show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Look, Saud Al-Thani's already in the Super Chat, says, "Hey, Sal and Joel, how's it going, guys? It's going well, my friend.
Good.
Thank you so much for your generosity. Holy crap, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very, very much for supporting us the way you are and the way you have. By the way, Saud Al-Thani not only supports us here, but he also watches our other show, which is a live-streamed Twitch series where Tiffany plays video games over on twitch.tv/ComicPOPTV. So you can hang out with us over there as well if you like video games. So check that out.
What's she playing now, Sal?
Code Vein, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah, I got that too, actually. But I keep screwing around in the character creator. I haven't actually played anything yet.
The character creator is sick and ridiculous. Actually, the entire team has that's the people who watch the show have teamed together to create a character all together.
Nice.
Her name is Robin Liefeld, and she is made of pouches. As I understand, she has a huge pouch just on her face.
Love it. Does she still have a job, though, Robin Liefeld?
Of course. You know, her job is like drawing and not remembering to draw feet. But yeah, Martin Archuleta says, "Keep Iron Fist, have Shang-Chi beat his ass in the first 3 minutes of his movie." I guess that'd be funny.
That would almost be worth it to be like, move over, I'm the new Kung Fu guy. Forget about this guy. It's
Right?
all me.
Amazing Zero, Punisher, Daredevil Season 2, Luke Cage, The Rest Can Burn. We'll get into that in just a minute. Before we do talk about those things, although I'm along the same lines as you, my friend, we're going to talk a little bit about what is Marvel TV? What was Jeff Loeb in charge of that now Kevin Feige can oversee and as such incorporate? It all starts, of course, with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, which had a very long run.
A long run. It's finally forgivably ending, so that show's dead. Marvel's Agent Carter, another show that, this is, of course, during the era when we thought #it's all connected. Agent Carter also, from what I understand, had actual like people from the MCU working on the show.
Yes, and Zola showed up and everything.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why Zola's there, why Jarvis ends up actually in Endgame.
So arguably, it has more connectivity than all those seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did.
Exactly. So
and it was just really good and underrated. I'm sad that one only got 2 seasons.
Yeah, 8 episodes, and then 10 episodes. So 18 episodes of a really, really underrated show. Also dead. Marvel's Inhumans, the less said about it, the better, but it's dead.
Can you believe they let Scott Buck fuck that up twice between that and Iron Fist?
I can't believe. Like, our showrunner's just really expensive, and you just got to get like whoever shows up. So anyway, but
Did you have naked pictures of somebody in power?
Maybe. I mean, like, listen. So Inhumans was a show that had its own quagmire originally, part of the MCU. Then, after the power struggle between Perlmutter and Feige split, they took Inhumans. It became a show, and it became a disaster.
We're this close to getting an Inhumans movie. Imagine that alternate universe.
We may still get one now.
It's true.
So then you got the Netflix series Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. Technically, The Defenders is its own show.
Yeah.
And, of course, The Punisher. So we got 6 different shows, all of which are using mid-range to higher-level characters. And
all street level.
All street level, all New York-based, and all, like, kind of to mid-level critical acclaim.
Yeah, very Marvel Knightsy. I can still remember when those shows were announced and how excited we all were.
Man. And then, of course, the second seasons for all of them and how excited we were, but how tentatively excited we were. Like, wait, but is it? But we know it's not connected anymore. All those shows. End
when the excitement evaporated, when you're like, nope, they're done, they're dead, the writing's on the wall.
All those shows canceled and dead. So far, only show we have that actually might still kind of be connected to the MCU, Agent Carter, but none of these shows are on TV or even being produced anymore. Then you got the Hulu's shows. You got Marvel's Runaways.
That's right, which I have not actually seen any of because I thought it was going to be canceled by now, but it's still hanging in there.
Not only is it hanging in there, second season, and up until, what was it, just 2 weeks ago at New York Comic Con, Jeff Loeb was interviewed with the cast of Runaways to talk about its future. They even asked about the blip and whether that was going to be referenced. Jeff Loeb made a really terse response, as you can imagine, in which he said, if you look at the Spider-Man sequel, obviously they referenced it, and then it turned out it really didn't make any difference. Nobody really cared.
Well, geez, Jeff, who pissed in your porridge?
I mean, I think Kevin Feige did.
Hey, Jeff, hey, you having a nice breakfast? Hey, don't mind me.
Then you got Hellstrom, the TV series, which is also apparently going to be released on Hulu in 2020, 10 episodes.
Yes, that's been cast. We were supposed to get a Ghost Rider show, but now he's going to be maybe getting a movie instead. Sorry, Gabriel Luna, even though you were in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so that would have at least connected with each other.
Right. The Ghost Rider show was being produced and is now dead, also under Jeff Loeb, so therefore forget about the Ghost Rider show. But, as you said, start to get excited because maybe they'll start putting Ghost Rider into the movies.
Well, I think almost certainly now, because isn't Feige a big Ghost Rider fan? And I think that's been on his to-do list for a while.
I think he's like a Marvel Knights fan, which may account for some of these characters and may inform some of our who should stay and who should go and who should get rebooted. So
Blade, of course, in a very similar position. We all assumed, oh, well, Blade, Moon Knight, that's got to be Phase 2 Netflix. No, actually.
No Netflix anymore, not even Disney Plus, too R-rated for those, so they're going into movies. Looking at Freeform, formerly ABC Family, Marvel's Cloak and Dagger, 2 seasons. The show still exists, and as of now is still not canceled.
Good for them.
Right now we got 3 shows that are still being produced that now have lost Jeff Loeb, Runaways, Hellstrom, and Cloak and Dagger. That being said, of course, only 2 of them actually have shows you can watch. Hellstrom could be canceled literally tomorrow.
It's true. I mean, are we assuming that these aren't long for the world now, that if these were Loeb's babies?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing, right? Because like Disney Plus has a glass ceiling of PG-13. All these shows, Runaways, Cloak and Dagger, Hellstrom, kind of confusing, but it's going to be produced on Hulu. But Runaways and Hellstrom and Cloak and Dagger could be, conceivably, shuffled over to Disney Plus or just shoehorned into the Hulu series.
It's true.
That's if they're happy with the level of quality or the direction that they're going in. I don't know, but let's just assume that they're all going to be dead at some point or another.
Now, what about those animated series, too, from Hulu that we were supposed to be getting as well?
Well, you got, what was it, the
Howard the
MODOK
Duck
show, the Howard the Duck show. I know that...
Tiger and Dazzler.
And Tiger and Dazzler. As I understand it, I as recently as the other day I heard, what was it, Kevin Smith talking about how he's still working on the Howard the Duck show.
That's right.
So... I assume those animated shows are also still, at least in development, if not, will see the light of day.
I hope they definitely come out because I'm excited for them, and I like the idea of Hulu being this alternative for the Marvel universe. Like, hey, this is the Marvel universe after dark.
Right. It's actually kind of funny how Hulu may actually become what Netflix was supposed to be, which
Yeah.
was like the more harder edged version of the MCU, but still within the MCU.
Though I don't love the idea of having to get yet another app. Though from what I understand, you can get the new Disney Plus app and Hulu and like one of the TSNs all packaged together for a rate.
And that's the thing. If they're going to package in Hulu with Disney Plus, there's no reason not to develop shows for it. They also mentioned, of course, the Offenders, which I forgot about.
Right.
Which is like, I guess, like their version of the Defenders in terms of like, let's unify everybody in the animated universe and put them over here. Again, it's also animated, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure that the animation teams that are working on those shows are not working on the What If show. But you don't need the same animation teams working on it to make it unified. That being said,
No.
I would assume those shows that are made right now, anything made under Loeb should probably start coming up with a last will and testament, because
Wrap it up, everybody. Wrap this shit up. New boss in town.
exactly. So those are the shows that either had been developed or are in development now.
Right.
Under this umbrella, where Feige is now chief creative officer and as such reports with Perlmutter and is producing pretty much everything here, with, of course, consideration to Disney Plus and what's being produced for that, which includes, of course, Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk. Let's not even get into Hawkeye and whether that's even going to be a thing anymore, because, of course, Jeremy Renner's whole meltdown.
Yeah, he had a bad time, but then again, I feel the whole part of this Hawkeye show is to kind of put him away and let Kate Bishop take center stage again, so maybe he can literally phone it in.
He could phone it in. I mean, like, it's funny because the thing is they don't want to give him work. They don't want to put him in the show anymore. They're trying to actively figure out how to get Hawkeye out of a Hawkeye show that's built to specifically get rid of him.
Yeah.
You either recast and make it really confusing, or
It's a hell of a thing.
you risk the press and let him be in it, but maybe you lessen the impact that Clint Barton was going to have. Fact is,
it's time to meet Clint's brother, Barney Barton, earlier than you thought, everybody.
I mean, the fact is, like, this ain't Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, no matter how many logos they use. So this dude has a family, he has kids, he could easily phone it in, or at the very least show up in the first scene and be like, bye.
Yeah, my home planet needs me.
Yeah, I'm just going to live off the reservation, goodbye. Like, I don't know. But that's another can of worms. But we do know that, like, it's funny how it goes from, like, MCU and it transitions into what you assume would have been things they were going to develop for Netflix, where it's like Falcon Winter Soldier, sure. WandaVision, get it. Loki, of course. Hey, cartoons. Hawkeye, getting rid of him anyway. He's old. Ms. Marvel, you're like, oh, wait a minute, what? That sounds more like a freeform thing. Moon Knight, She-Hulk. Okay, no. Those feel like real shows, or at the very least, harder-edged, potentially shows. Shows that
You would think so, yeah.
at least trying to do something. People are asking what Renner did. All right, let's get into it really quick. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but let's just say that Jeremy Renner had a hard time, evidently was on some level of substance, and threatened to kill his ex-wife and himself with a gun, which he owns. It's on record. You can Google the rest. Let's just say, he torched his career in the eyes of Disney. So, there's not much you can do with him.
Though hilariously, it was a big news story when it broke, and yet we haven't heard much of it in the last little bit. It's kind of quieted down, interestingly, how that happens.
Yeah, it's true. As we transition from the list of shows that we have in our midst and what we think about them, let's read in some super chats. What was it? Adam Asmo says, Loeb is out. I guess Disney gave him an ultimatum.
Can of Coke for you, sir.
Yeah, that's solid, man. That's solid. Good
shit.
Good joke. Yeah, there's no evidence. It's like, okay, well, the 911 call I think was enough evidence, but all right, whatever. Lord of Realms helping us out. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lord of Realms. So yeah, we'll see. So from there, We're going to talk about... I love how like people were baiting us into talking about it, and then we did, and then they were like, aha, we got you! Now let's pick apart your argument. Yo.
That's the internet.
Yo. I don't report the news. I read it, and we talk about it. That's the deal.
That's how a podcast works.
And hey, we're also trade readers, and the trade says that Disney's trying to figure out what to do about it. That's where we are. So you can say there's no evidence all you want to, but like, one, I have no skin in this game.
No.
2, I'm not trying to defend or attack anybody. 3, it doesn't effing matter. So moving on.
Yeah, also talking about it might derail the show.
Exactly, which is why I didn't want to do it in the first place, but let's do it anyway. Those are the shows that have existed and are kind of being produced. I mean, the fact is, like, we just named, what was it? Just from Netflix, there was 6 shows plus the ABC shows, which makes for 9 shows. You look at the Disney Plus shows, you got, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 1 fewer. They're already developing under Feige now.
Yeah.
So it's like he's already made a proportionate response/replacement for those other shows on a format that, you know, arguably hurts everything. But
out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah. So, yeah, the question is, as we move forward under this new, more Feige-controlled era and Loebeless time, well, you know, before we even get into our speculations, was Jeff Loeb the problem? Because here's the thing. There's a lot of
people thought he was.
There's a lot of good that came out of the Marvel TV shows. In fact, a lot of people still like the shows that are on now. People still enjoy Runaways. They do dig Cloak and Dagger. Folk were excited for Ghost Rider, which spun out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, you know, as much as I heard a lot of criticism, show got, what, 7 seasons? Like,
yes.
People were watching the damn thing, so I guess it was
I was
popular enough for it to have an audience, especially at that kind of prime time. I watched it for a time, and then I was like, that's enough. And I just had to stop. But, you know, arguably Loeb made some good shows. I mean, the fact is, or at the very least, he oversaw good shows. I loved all 3 seasons of Daredevil. I loved the first season of Jessica Jones. I just honestly dropped out after season 1, so I didn't see season 2 or 3. I loved season 1 of Luke Cage.
Season 2 is better in my mind. I really think that was the killer one. I'm glad I stuck around for at least season 2 of that.
Yeah. And I watched Iron Fist season 1. Obviously, I wouldn't stick around for season 2, which is too bad if you want to understand. You could have watched a Daughters of the Dragon series. Defenders I saw and thought could have been better, but at the same time, it was exciting to see some of these characters interact. And
it had some bright spots.
Yeah, and I loved Punisher. So
Punisher was cool too. Never saw season 2 of Punisher because again, I'm like, nope, it's dead.
I only have enough hours in the day, and I can't dedicate them to shows that are either like dead men walking, you know.
As you said before, there's too much entertainment.
Yeah. So yeah, it's true. There's too much entertainment. And in fact, if you want to see me and another host talk about it for like an hour, check out the show. Watch the playlist. So good stuff, you know. Then, of course, you look at the animated projects. I don't think there is a strong one since Loeb took over.
Yeah, it's true. They've all been pretty weak sauce.
Yeah, and it's funny because if you look at, like, the recent Marvel animated shows or movies that were produced before Loeb came in, some of them were pretty cool.
Yeah.
I cite, of course, Hulk versus.
Hell yeah.
And even the Thor movie. I don't know if anybody remembers that one. It was like young Thor.
Oh yeah,
Tales of Asgard was what it was called.
Yes, I remember that one in the blockbuster. That's how long ago that was.
Yeah. Plus you got Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
I liked Next Avengers. And I kind of dug Ultimate Avengers and Ultimate Avengers 2.
I don't think I ever saw those ones actually.
They're pretty much straight up adaptations of the comics.
Oh, then I probably like them.
Right. I didn't see Invincible Iron Man. I did not yet see Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. Though,
neither did I.
As I understand it, at least with Planet Hulk and Next Avengers and Thor Tales of Asgard, those are all also produced by Kevin Feige.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, you know, there's some continuity there. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about the anime efforts. Like,
Oh
Rise of
yeah,
the Technovore,
that I
and
watched.
Avengers Confidential, Black Widow and Punisher, which I also saw.
Didn't see those.
I kind of dug the Black Widow and Punisher movie, and that's when I kind of stopped until I saw
That was
shows.
Norman Reedus as the Punisher. Yes.
I assume, I don't know, but there you have it. So yeah, it's interesting how Loeb is kind of like a harbinger of good and bad. I mean, it could be that, it doesn't take one person to make a show. It doesn't take one person to make a movie. You can't like foist
True.
too much praise on Feige. There are a lot of really great, powerful, and talented moving parts to make those movies work.
Definitely.
And as such, you can't blame everything on Loeb, nor can you give him too much praise when it's like Daredevil was a solid show.
Yeah, I think it's that Kevin Feige is just so easy to like, and Loeb almost deliberately spent so much of his career being surly.
It's really weird, like how he's like not interested in brand management the way that other people are. I mean, like Feige doesn't have to worry about that either. The dude could literally be a douche, and people would still like, eat his ass and call it ice cream. So I don't know, but one of the of course the sore spots actually was brought up by Tevye of all people, and we'll get into that in a second. But this could mean that a bunch of animated projects could come on the scene and be better.
I would like that very much,
because I would argue that all that stuff we mentioned, the Technovore, Planet Hulk, even Next Avengers, were better than anything that came out under Loeb.
And you know what? Now would be a good time too for Feige and Marvel, and I'm going to assume Disney Plus, to up their animation game, because as we saw, Netflix, their next closest competitor now, spent millions of dollars getting some of the best animators from television and everywhere, and being like, okay, here's a blank check, do whatever. We want Netflix to be the home of kick-ass animation in the future.
Well, and you own, like, you're Disney. You could
own
make anything
studio.
great. Or, you could have Pixar make a Marvel movie. You could even have just the Disney CG animation team who made things like Tangled and, like good stuff that I really enjoy.
I just found out the other day that Tangled got like a 3-season continuation on TV, and I'm like, really?
Oh, and it's out?
Yes, like it's out. It got like 3 seasons of television. Apparently, it's pretty good. They do original songs and everything for it, and they grew the lore.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah, shocking, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't get a sequel. Got 3 seasons.
Weird. All right.
Yeah.
But then you got that awful Avengers Assemble show, that terrible Guardian show, Ultimate Spider-Man, which started out strong and then just fell the hell apart. Marvel Spider-Man, which is not very good either.
They just look worse, like they're spending less and less money on them.
Oh, yeah. Marvel Rising doesn't look very good either. Like, the animation's just really bad.
The writing's a little stronger in that, at least because they're trying to be different. But yeah, it just doesn't. They should look better than this.
Agreed. Oh, I forgot. They also mentioned they're making Hit Monkey. That's the other Hulu animated show.
Right.
So yeah.
Everyone always forgets Hit Monkey.
Well, at least he'll be an offender. But yeah. So now the question is, okay, so we have a list of shows that exist under the Marvel banner that were produced by Loeb, and arguably Feige / his people don't want to be associated with, right? Because that's the assumption here. I mean, it's all about ego, right? Like, it's all about ego. It's all about, like, I am getting the credit for this. It's arguably why we got that problem with Spider-Man and Sony. It's that, Feige was like, I helped produce some of these other things, and I want my name on them. And it's like, dude, they're already making gold statues of you. Do you really need to say you helped produce, like, I don't know, or at least helped in some creative fashion Into the Spider-Verse? And it's like, yes, it won an Oscar. Yes. Like, fine. I guess I get it. But if you, I don't know. I'm a poor kid from Jersey, so it's like, if like, my assumption is you can reach a limit where you get enough money and fame and power that you're like, all right, I'm good. And then like people tell you like, well, I'm better than you, and you just go, well, I just checked my bank account and I say no. Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess that's just a thing in Hollywood where you're dealing with such huge sums of money and people's livelihoods so consistently that the only thing that matters is the credit, man, and how I'll be remembered. I can't take the money with me.
It's like that. It's that scene in Wag the Dog. You remember Wag the Dog?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's this great political like comedy thriller thing called Wag the Dog, in which Dustin Hoffman helps produce a fake movie or a fake war to help the approval rating of the sitting president. And it all works out. They fool the public, and he wants the credit for doing it, and that's all he wants. And at the end, of course, spoiling a 30-year-old movie, he is assassinated for his troubles because like he can't keep his mouth shut, and he'd rather die than not get the credit for making something like bamboozling the entire American populace. So like, that was produced by these people who know their own. So I trust it. But yeah. So jumping into the super chats really quick. Amazing Zero says, off topic, new Star Wars trailer, guys. Yeah, there's a new Star Wars trailer. BM Gray says, I've been waiting 10 years for that Jeff Loeb ultimatum joke to happen.
It just gets sitting on it.
Well, your time has come.
And no one can take it away from you.
Yeah. Tevye Smolka says, can we bring back Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes just like Young Justice? No. They won't. It's hard. And the question is, who owns it? Who made it? I mean, the fact is, they could. Because if anyone can, a mega conglomerate like Disney could afford it, just like Disney could afford to just pay Sony, like, okay, how many Spider-Man movies are you realistically going to make? 6? So that's what, $6 billion? All right, here you go, $6 billion. Now,
it's in my suit pants.
Right now, here's your $6 billion. Now shut up, it's all ours. They could literally fix, or they could cure diseases. They could build every bridge and road and not lose a sweat. Like it's obnoxious. They could produce an entire library of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes direct-to-digital animated movie adaptations of every single Marvel Comics event and make money, and they still won't do it because, I don't know, it's a gamble. So, I've given up on watching companies do the right thing. You need to convince them that it's the right thing to do publicly and that it'll make them money as well.
And it's also profitable. Yeah.
Yeah. As if Syed helping us out. Thank you very much, As if. And the Iceman says, saw this coming with the Feige news. I think Feige will just get one of his team to take over. I hope they let Hulu TV be a harder Netflix type show. I agree. I think Feige's not really good at delineation. I mean, he's good at picking the right people, but he's not the kind of person who's just like, oh, I'll just let somebody else handle that. Like, no, my name's going on that. I think we know now that he's a bit of an egomaniac, so it's like he needs to be involved. So,
which, I mean, when what he makes is genuinely pretty good, I mean, I guess I can't fault him for that.
I'm not going to argue, but yeah, I don't know who in his team could take over. That's the thing about Kevin Feige, the mystery and the man, the myth, the legend. I don't know what his team looks like. Like,
true.
Were he to be hit by a bus tomorrow, who would stand to replace him and continue the continuity of excellence? I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
does he have an assistant? Does he have several assistants?
Does he have 5 redundant proteges? Gorgon Fish.
As we joked last week there, it's a Jedi Sith thing, and when I die, you will all fight for the chance to take my place.
Gorgon Fish says, Power Pack Live / cartoon television show or film? I say show. You got to do Power Pack as a show. I'd say make it a cartoon. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think kids will enjoy it. That's the place to put Power Pack. Power Pack should and always has been, or should always be, a cartoon. By the way, there is a Power Pack live action made for TV show. Like, it's a made for TV movie that's also a pilot for a show. You can find on YouTube. There's a Power Pack pilot. It sucks. Lord of Realms says, have you read or heard of Zenescope comics? Not only have I read them, I have also heard of them. And yes. I gotta tell you, it's interesting, Zenescope, or Zenescope, how they have these eye-catching covers that are clearly made with an eye of exploitation, yet the content within them is nothing of the sort. The costumes may remain, but it's not just like the Curse of the Black, whatever the hell. You remember Tarot, Curse of the whatever the
Tarot,
hell.
Curse of the Black Rose.
Yes, Curse of the Black Rose. It's not all just, it's not like softcore porno comics. Apparently they really do actually make like fun adventure stories. Though, you know, I haven't picked up a Zenoscope comic since, I don't know, East Coast Comic Con when they gave me a preview sample. So yeah, let's talk about the shows that you'd like to see succeed / come back, and who needs a reboot. I think that anything ABC needs to die and stay dead.
I mean, you can't really say like you're killing it. They all had very good runs.
Right, it's true. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should go on to Disney Plus, like, and not like bring it back. I mean, just like put it on Disney Plus, because it's a bingeable, long form, Marvel-centric show. Like, stick it in there, and then take inventory. Who'd you use? You know, I see Absorbing Man's in here. Can we recast without it being a problem? I see Deathlock's in here. We're not going to use him, obviously.
The Griffin.
The Griffin. All the Inhuman stuff. Obviously, we're not going to do any of that. I don't know. I think that the show could have new life in terms of just sticking it on the stream and just leaving it there. But otherwise, I think the less said about it, the better. I think ignoring it is the way to go.
And it was in so much of its own bubble, that's ultimately fine, that you can ultimately get away with that. Agent
Carter, that should be a Disney Plus show as well, except it becomes more complicated now that, you know, Endgame is here.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think probably just to keep it less complicated, you kill that one too.
And also, Haley Atwell is going to be in that what if thing. Isn't like episode 1, like what if Haley Atwell, Agent Carter, became Captain America?
Right. Except she's English, so she'd be Captain Britain, I guess.
She would be. Although it's funny, apparently on her shield in the like leaked thing, she actually does have a Union Jack instead of a Stars and Stripes.
Is that what she becomes? I don't know. It's cool. And Marvel's Inhumans, those are the ABC shows. I honestly believe that the Inhumans will be back in the MCU sooner than you think. We've heard rumors, because obviously they're making a Ms. Marvel show. Ms. Marvel is a show. It's happening. They're casting.
Hell yeah.
They're working on it. She's an Inhuman.
Yep.
And you have a AAA video game title that was made in the Inhuman era. So you're going to have which now, of course, who cares? But it's going to explode on the scene. You're going to have the Terrigen bomb go off in that game, and people are going to be talking about Inhumans again.
I bet it's going to be Donny Cates to write the new book, too, because he did the Death of the Inhumans, and he keeps teasing the Inhumans coming back and everything else he's writing.
So I think if you tie it in with the game, you tie it in with Ms. Marvel, you cast, and I've heard I've heard rumors from Vin Diesel to whatever, that you put Black Bolt and Medusa into the Ms. Marvel show. You get
That's all you need. They only need to show up for an episode.
You get a top tier, get a couple of really, really big name actors to play those characters, and then you see what the buzz is, and then you try Inhumans again. Now, again, I don't like Inhumans. I don't care about them. But I think there is room now for them to make a less insistent Inhumans movie.
Indeed.
Since they don't need to make mutants anymore, it's like since they got mutants back, they can be like, oh, we'll just do Paul Jenkins' run. Like we'll just do an intimate story about these guys over there.
Do Game of Thrones in space, but also isn't Eternals going to be that too? We don't know. We'll figure that out.
Well, Eternals, I honestly, it's hard to find something more boring than the Inhumans until you find the Eternals. So if they're willing to do that, there's no way they're not going to take another second bite at the Inhumans apple.
Right.
Then
especially too because you're getting Fantastic Four coming out, so it's like, oh, well, what if we had the Fantastic Four fight the Inhumans? Wouldn't that be fun?
Wouldn't it be funny if the first Marvel Cinematic Universe Fantastic Four movie introduced the Inhumans?
That'd be crazy.
That'd be very funny. Like, that's who they are. That's where they belong. They're second string supporting Fantastic Four characters, and they're all gonna fight the Mole Man, and you're gonna like it.
Heck, have the royal family show up in a Black Panther sequel, because Black Panther similarly also spun out of the pages of a Fantastic Four comic, so it'd be funny to see them come back together.
Black Panther 2. Make Black Panther 2 the Inhumans movie.
King versus King.
Yeah. I want to skip the Netflix. We want to get to that. That's the big kahuna of our conversation here. Marvel's Runaways. Fold that right over.
That should be easy.
It's already on Hulu. Keep the show going. Make harder references to the MCU at large. Maybe give them their own movie if the show gets really popular, or if it is I don't know. I've never watched it, but there's 2 seasons, so people are watching it.
Someone must be into it.
Right. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with Runaways. The cast is happy. You got a solid team. Now that Loeb's gone, you can really like up the ante, up the budget, play with that convention a little more. Maybe you can get Brian K. Vaughan to be a showrunner on that.
Ooh.
Now you got Runaways. Now it's a big name thing. Keep it on Hulu so you can go a little farther with it. Similarly, Cloak and Dagger. Move that shit to Hulu. Keep it. I say keep it. Why not?
Yeah, it's filling a niche out there, which I like, and I would very much like to see Cloak and Dagger roll into a cameo appearance somewhere else down the line.
Exactly. Hell, you could also, of course, combine Cloak and Dagger with the Runaways, since they are Runaways, not capital R, but still.
It's very easy, isn't it?
Right? So those are the ancillary shows. Hellstrom, I don't know what you're going to do with that. I assume it'll get however many episodes they produced, and then they'll kill it. That's my assumption.
Again, I hope it does good, if only so they can be like, yes, there is an audience for harder rated, harder edged Marvel stuff.
Right. Obviously, Ghost Rider already got killed before the development stage, so Ghost Rider is... They would have killed all the shows if that was the plan, right?
Yeah.
They clearly deliberately killed Ghost Rider because Feige has plans for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I bet Ghost Rider shows up in the Blade movie.
That would be a good place for him, and then you're that much closer to Midnight Suns or whatever else you want to call it.
Exactly. Before we move on, jumping into the super chats, Preston Bryan says, I think Cloak and Dagger Runaways is supposed to have a crossover. It is, in fact, supposed to have a crossover.
Really? Well, that's good then.
And not only that, they've also had a crossover. Cloak and Dagger literally appear in Vaughn's run of Runaways. They are connected. So
no shit.
Hashtag it's all connected. You could definitely put them together.
Good.
And so you get, and that saves some money. Hey, now it's one show. Screw it. But honestly, that's what you do with those shows. Are viewed, they're popular, and they work within the format that you're making them for. Stick them on Hulu and leave it there. Hellstrom, honestly, I feel like it's gonna die, but
my worry about it is that they're already pitching it like every other paranormal detective show from the beginning of time.
I know. Well, they made 10 episodes. The show is being made, and they're not gonna waste money. They inherited the wasted money of New Mutants, which they don't know what the hell they're going to do. But with Hellstrom, it's like, well, they technically paid to make it, so, we got to put it out somewhere. But yeah, it could be the Supernatural of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I'm so glad you mentioned Supernatural, because that's a show that I never got into.
Nope.
But I respect that it was as long as it did. But I'm mad at Supernatural because it cannibalized so many tropes and so many storylines from your archetypical paranormal comic book detective, a la Constantine, a la Jim Butcher, a la Damien Hellstrom. So when it comes time for those shows to actually be made, everyone's like, oh, this is derivative of Supernatural. I'm like, no, it's the other way around.
Yeah, no, they just couldn't make those shows, so they made Supernatural.
Yeah, which I cannot believe.
I know. Then you got the Netflix thing. Now, here's the thing. Netflix, do you remember, like, why did they make a show rather than make the movie of Daredevil?
I don't know, because it was a brand that had already flopped at the box office once before, and they wanted to show people that it was different, or that maybe they felt that Daredevil thrived better with long form stories, which I kind of think he does.
I agree. With Daredevil, I think that everyone involved at that level works in a movie. I think that, from Daredevil to Foggy to Karen to the motherfucking Kingpin.
Definitely.
They all work as a movie. You don't really need the context of 3 seasons of the show.
No, they can mostly just show up, because that's the beautiful part about Daredevil. He was always the most TV-ready, media-ready, pre-packaged, lawyer by day, superhero by night, Catholic guilt. Here you go.
These are the characters moving on. Yeah. I think that what they should do with Daredevil is they should start pushing him as a movie. Obviously, they have that contract, the contract clause with Netflix. It probably would be cleaner if they just said, the whole thing's over and we're just going to reboot.
Yeah.
But Charlie Cox is too good, and Vincent
He
D'Onofrio
really
is
is.
too good, and
Definitive.
honestly, I love I love both Foggy and Karen. If you treated it like a soft reboot where you're like, you don't really need the show, we're not going to refer to it too much, if at all. And hey, don't be surprised if like Purple Man and stuff show up in the movies and stuff, and they're not going to look or sound or act like the guys from the last one. We're only keeping the stuff that worked. I think everyone would collectively be like, right on. Like, no one's going to argue with you.
No, exactly. People would come to maybe we're more accepting of this kind of soft reboot stuff because they do it in comic books all the time. But I think general audiences, Joe and Jane Popcorn, are getting better at this kind of thing. Like, heck, the last couple X-Men movies were just like, yo, and this is what we call a retcon, everybody, and this is what we also call a soft reboot.
The fact is, if people are still complaining that we don't have like movies like Logan, then the argument that people don't understand like reboots and resets and all that stuff is out the window, because X-Men is a mess and it was made by the same freaking studio. Like,
yeah.
X-Men 1, 2, and 3. Okay, those all feed together. X-Men Origins Wolverine doesn't make any sense. It doesn't and flies in the direct face of some of the origin stuff from the original movies. Okay, that's your first continuity problem. First Class, also same deal. Also Days of Future Past, like same deal. Oh, also Apocalypse. Also, like every single movie picks and chooses whatever it wants and does whatever it wants and contradicts each other. And some of them happened and some of them didn't, or some of them got undone. Like, I was expecting them to really deliberately undo X-Men 3 with Days of Future Past, but they kind of didn't.
No, they really didn't, which, man, after a fact, were those movies not the most faithful to X-Men lore, where it's like, no, we're just going to pick and choose, and it's all headcanon, man.
Right, it's all just a mess. So, if that's the case, I think we can get away with just being like, Charlie Cox is Daredevil, you know, the Foggy and Karen are the same actors, and Vincent D'Onofrio is Kingpin, and that's what we're keeping, and the rest of it's all garbage.
That's
like
really all you need.
That's
and
all
again,
you need.
And you can get around it to where it's like, hey, and here's Bullseye. No, he's not the guy from The Thing, but he's wearing a movie costume and a mask, so you never have to look at his face.
Right. Like, no, we recast Bullseye. We got another actor for that. We recast literally everybody except for Kingpin.
Here's Elektra. She's also in her comic costume now. She regenerated. She went through a phase. She changes her outfit.
Hell, we just do it again. And there are a lot of people who have a problem with Elodie Young. I loved her as Elektra. I thought she was really cool. I really liked her in that. But I get the argument. So like with Elektra, I would probably avoid it for as long as I could. Jessica Jones, Hulu show.
Yeah, that would be perfect for that. Again, especially because Jessica Jones was never the most expensive of the shows.
Cheap show to make, doesn't need to be on a team, never really was. So, like, putting Jessica Jones on the Defenders, okay, cool, I get it, but unnecessary. Really what you needed with Jessica Jones was a commentary on the rest of the MCU. So, what you really need is maybe cameos in her show, but not her being on a team. You need other people to show up in her show, not her to show up in your movies.
That's a really good way of looking at it. And I especially want Luke Cage to show up in there, too, so we can eventually build their relationship, which is something I've always liked from the books.
Agreed. Now, with Luke Cage, I would make a Luke Cage movie. I would just get Mike Coulter and be like, no, Luke Cage movie. You're not going to be able to do what you did with the show. No. It sucks, and I hate it. But you're not going to be able to do that direct thing. And what I'm saying by that is you're not going to be able to get away with as much harder-edged violence, and hopefully you can get some social commentary in there. I mean, Black Panther, like,
clearly
Killmonger's whole impetus is a commentary, and it's like,
totally,
you could probably get away with that. I would love I would love a flip side Killmonger type movie where it's like,
that
this
would
is
be
about like racial, like, prejudice,
tensions in America,
and how Luke Cage is a commentary on that. Mike Coulter's just a movie actor anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, and only getting more and more popular in movies.
Right, and I think he'd be happy to play Luke Cage again.
And again, he also embodies the character so much too. It would be hard to see someone else in that role. If we save anyone else from that show, and this is also the good thing about Luke Cage, is he's not exactly known for his supporting cast, so it's very easy to just pick and move him around.
Yep.
Can we have Bushmaster back? Because he was a really friggin' good villain.
Oh
Like,
man,
really good.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, that'd be fine. I mean, if I'm in charge, yeah. But like, if not, you could do anything. Hell, you could, well, yeah, you could do anything you want, and
You don't really need Bushmaster back, as his story actually had a really good conclusion, and he had a good arc, which is why Luke Cage season 2 is so strong. But still, that's my fanboy that I just want to see this guy again.
Right. I agree with you. Iron Fist. Here's the thing. I don't even know why they bothered to make an Iron Fist show in the first place. Like, I don't know why they were like, Iron Fist, that one. I guess because they were making a Luke Cage show. I guess because Iron Fist technically would be easy to film because he only has one supernatural attribute that needs CG.
Yet they still fucked it up.
I can't believe how badly. With Iron Fist, I wouldn't try. Like, I would literally just leave it alone.
You have Shang-Chi now. You can totally junk the whole thing and not lose anything.
And I would argue, like, if you want to do Iron Fist in the future, you could. But the longer away it is from the original Iron Fist, the better. The better. And then you can obviously just reboot the whole damn thing. I'm sad we'd lose Colleen Wing. Get that actress. She's really good. Get that actress and have her play Colleen Wing, or have her play anybody else in the rest of the MCU. Just bring her back. She's a great actress. She'll do great in whatever she's doing. But Iron Fist, I would just walk away.
It's funny. I feel with what is it about Iron Fist the same way I feel about Green Arrow, where it's like it's going to take a long time to shake these versions that exist for good or ill.
I think not. See, I think that with the bad versions and with the bad the bad blood, it's you just don't. Like, you literally just move on. Like, if you had Iron Fist show up in Shang-Chi as somebody else, most people are going to be like, okay, or cool, because they never saw it.
Again, he wears a mask and never wore it on the show, so just have him show up wearing the mask, like, I am Iron Fist now. Maybe I'm the same actor, maybe I'm not, but that's definitely Iron Fist, and he doesn't look like the TV show, so that's an Iron Fist.
Yeah. Defenders is entirely contingent on the Netflix model, so the Defenders is gone. You don't do a Defenders, or you bring it back, and it's like Defenders is a Doctor Strange team.
Defenders was also our Netflix, arguably their biggest failure. They wanted their Avengers-sized hit, and they didn't get it.
Nope. And that might also be due to Jeff Loeb and the showrunners. So with them gone, you could get another bite at Defenders, but I would just move on. I would just be like, no, we're not going to do that. And Punisher, same people, same deal. Keep John Bernthal, moving on. Like, he's literally
really good.
And here's my quickie pitch for bringing Punisher into the MCU. Spider-Man 3, Punisher tries to kill Spider-Man.
Hey, we do the Jackal storyline.
You just do the Jackal storyline. You replace Jackal with somebody else. That way you can shoehorn in yet another villain. I would say, if you're good, they're not going to do this. Because, and everyone's going to scream at me right now. They're like, contracts! There's still a year and 2 months left on it! Money talks. Here you go. Here's however much you need. Now it's over. All right, moving on. Punisher and Kingpin.
Or, hey, maybe he can't call himself Kingpin yet, so he calls himself the Big Man.
No, there you go. You could do the Big Man. That'd be fine. But my thought was clean up the Netflix thing / bring them in by just being like, okay, in this complicated quagmire, we're going to take the Netflix villains in our Sony hero Marvel produced movie. Like, oh my God, what the hell even is this? What a nightmare. But also, I really would love to see a Boss Logic poster that is a recreation of the first appearance of Punisher. Where Spider-Man's in the crosshairs, because
so good.
Spider-Man the Hunted, not the Kraven Hunted, but like Spider-Man being hunted by Punisher would be kind of fun. Plus, you're introducing Punisher into the MCU. Now you're like, oh, if you know who Punisher is, you're like, awesome. If you don't, you're like, oh, who's this? Like, it's the same deal.
It's really easy to pick up who the Punisher is.
It's true.
He also doesn't have a lot of extended casts of supporting characters. You can very easily pick him up and move him around.
And the fact is, they had Ronan killing all kinds of people with a sword in your major popcorn blockbuster Endgame movie. Why not just have a guy who shoots people too, and just don't show him blowing their heads off?
I mean, Bucky as the Winter Soldier was running around shooting people.
Yeah. So that'd be kind of fun. But anyway, again, Punisher, I love Bernthal. I think he's great. Arguably, like, if you need to recast, I get it. I know that, like, Tiffany's not a big Bernthal fan. She's like, yeah, he's good, but I don't know if he's my Punisher. And I'm like, I hear you.
Keeps touching his hair.
He really does like to touch his hair. But I really like, but I love what they did with him. I love his whole thing. The other thing is, you can't really do much with Punisher, like in the MCU, as far as getting too deep into it. So wouldn't it be fun?
Guest spots.
Wouldn't it be fun to have it? Like, listen, we're never gonna show his origins. So if you really want it, there's a
Netflix.
There's 2 seasons of it.
But that is a good one.
Yeah, but for us, Punisher is just he wears a skull shirt and he's sad.
It could also work again because they keep talking about what they're going to do with Deadpool. Wouldn't the Punisher be a fun tag along or even fun cameo one-off joke in that eventual Deadpool movie once they get that happening?
I honestly, I think they want Spider-Man in that Deadpool movie.
Because it'd be funny.
Because Spider-Man talks, like, because it's like he talks in terms of like he walks the walk, he makes the money. But because people want to see that. I would love to see Punisher versus Deadpool, and that's the movie.
Yeah.
Or just Deadpool, whatever. I'd love that. But you need somebody who's like, I guess somebody who's more grounded. And it's funny to say that because Punisher's like a guy, but somebody who's like more relatable. Deadpool is relatable, but he's also wacky and insane. You need somebody who's like going to be the foil, a good foil.
The straight man. It's the classic manic man, straight man relationship.
Yes, and while Punisher would be a good straight man, it has been in Deadpool versus Punisher, I would argue you need somebody a little more fun for that kind of movie. And again, by the way, just it bears repeating because let's just say this one more time about the friggin' Deadpool thing. I still haven't seen any like Variety article or Deadline article that says Disney hits head again. Disney executives hit hand against head and goes doy. So because they were talking last time I checked about how they're like, how are we gonna make Deadpool work? R-rated movies,
already works.
R-rated movies, PG-13 appearances. Moving on. That's
so
all
simple.
You need. It's so simple. I'm not surprised it's escaping your grasp. Like R-rated movies. Produced maybe not even by you don't put the Disney logo on it, you get one of your shell companies to do it.
Can't have the magic castle.
Nope. But Deadpool, R-rated movies, Deadpool, PG-13 appearances. It's so easy. It like hurts to hear that it's not easy.
Tell you what, major executives, how about you pay us money and we can make this happen?
It's true. Denton Film says Joel gets my money for knowing Jim Butcher.
Hey, I know my magic detective fiction of dudes who wear trench coats and smoke cigarettes.
Nice. The Iceman says there are a many show that should be brought back but won't. If Feige wasn't involved, we won't see it. I want to see continuation of Gifted and Legion. Yeah.
Gifted and Legion were very cool. There's no doubt about it. They were wildly creative, but they mostly reached satisfying conclusions and exist in their own little, side universes.
That's
and also,
true.
Hey, and that's the magical thing about X-Men is you can still get X-Men movies and X-Men TV shows when this is all done, because I don't know if you've noticed there's like 1 billion X-Men and 100,000 different teams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I mean, like, I hope that Feige, puts his magic touch on the X-Men franchise, but also I hope he like picks a really awesome protege to be like, you're in charge of the X-Men universe. Like, because you could literally have like Marvel Phase 5 and it's like, it's Fantastic Four and it's Guardians 4 or whatever and all this stuff, Daredevil and Spider-Man, whatever. But well, obviously not Spider-Man, but and Captain Marvel 2. And then there's also like a sub meeting where they're like, yo, X-Force, X-Men, New Mutants, Excalibur, like they could make so many, and not to mention the Wolverine movies.
Oh God, in and of itself,
like,
the Weapon X franchise in and of itself, just hanging out with that team. Or as I've always pushed it, okay, so the movies are the X-Men superheroes doing super things.
Yep.
The TV shows in Disney Plus, this is the mutant soap operas now. This is the Hellfire Club show. This is Xavier High. This is all of those types of things that you normally get from X-Men.
Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters is a Disney Plus show.
Yes.
There you go. and you get the guy who plays Professor X, and he is the through line that connects it to the movies. And maybe what if you kill Professor X in like X-Men 2? Okay, whoever's the headmaster, and Emma Frost, put her in, and but it's that show, and it's just and it's only 8 episodes or something, It's just something fun to watch.
It's Degrassi with superpowers.
Yeah. So I think you get a lot of that. Like you can get a lot of X-Men stuff. Like the reckoning of X-Men in the MCU is coming. And I hope that it's like led by someone who isn't distracted and weary and loves the X-Men.
Definitely.
So, and those are the shows. I mean, like as far as that's concerned, are there any Marvel shows like besides like maybe animated projects that you'd like to see? Kind of like either come back or get rebooted or be used in some way?
Again, it's such a weird time. I have not enjoyed the Marvel animated universe for so long now. I'm wondering what would they have to do to get me back on board at this point. Where it's like, hey, where it's like, oh, it's just another Spider-Man show or it's just another Avengers show. And I'm like, well, I've seen these in varying quality.
Yeah, you'd need to bring back EMH. Like, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is a perfect introduction to the Marvel Universe. It's a great show. It's well cast. It has fun animation, stylized so that you can get away with cutting corners, but also not sacrificing it so it looks like shit. Grounded and fun and great sweeping epic adaptations of like they did the Korvac saga in that show.
They did.
Like they introduced the Guardians and they look like Dan Abnett's The Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
they did.
Come on. If you haven't watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes, you've got to see it. It's so great. Apparently, Loeb is the guy who brought Drake Bell in to overwrite Josh Keating's voice in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes episodes for Spider-Man.
That hurts.
Yeah, like that makes me go like, okay, well then he was behind every bad decision.
It's things like that will forever stick in the craw. It's like, ooh, that was a bad decision, and Drake Bell is a dingus, and you're a dingus for dubbing over my precious baby Josh Keaton.
I know, that poor kid. But now they'll just get Yuri to
Yuri
play
Lowen.
him.
Now and forever, which it's like you want to be mad at Yuri Lowenthal because like, oh god, Yuri Lowenthal again, but that's like, but god damn it, you're so talented though.
He's a good kid. He's doing a good job. I like him, so I'm fine with it. It's not even a kid, but I appreciate it.
No, he's an adult man who voices young kids.
Exactly. I say, and I've said this for years, but like make direct digital adaptations of classic stories that you're never going to do in the movies, or that you're never going to do like that in the movies. Like,
right.
I would love to see Secret Wars. Like Jim Shooter's Secret Wars as a cartoon, using the voice actors from the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, plus new actors you bring in, and in that animation style. I'd love to see like the Korvac saga or any other number of like just Marvel events that they're never gonna do, or who cares if they're gonna do it? Like they did Planet Hulk, kinda. You're never gonna, but they still made a Planet Hulk direct to DVD animated feature that is more in line with what the comic was. So you could still do it, and I think that's the way to fix it.
You know what else they could do? It would probably be shameless, but whatever, because they could actually pump more money into it, and it's a proven formula that works. Let's just have Champions or Young Avengers as a series. You get to know the universe through the eyes of the sidekicks who are just starting out, and then every season, like Young Justice, you make it a little bigger and a little more inclusive, and then it's like, oh, and now look at that, oh, now we have a fully fleshed out animated universe that just started with the young characters.
That's true. I mean, like, yeah, but at the same time, they're showing you that like Ms. Marvel's going to be a live action show. Runaways is working really well. We're probably going to just make these kids play the characters later anyway.
Probably.
So now what's left?
I know. It's like we're at the point now where it's like it used to be animation was for the riskier stuff that you couldn't do in live action or that you would never see because it was too expensive. But now we are in this wonderful and crazy time where it's like, nah, man, everything is possible.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm sorry. TB. No. Iceman says, last one, just thought of something. What if they are going to use Disney Plus some market research to see what shows would do well if brought back? I mean, certainly
they really should.
Certainly they should do that, and I'm sure they will pull data. But, there's some shows that, like, they're bringing back. They're not going to bring back Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Like,
no, obviously
they're not going to bring back the original 90s Spider-Man cartoon. Like, I think that those are just more like, boy, a lot of people are watching the X-Men cartoon.
But boy, if you stream enough gargoyles, though.
That's the thing. It's like, maybe we'll see gargoyles come back, but like, instead of it being like, oh, well, we'll just bring back X-Men 90s. Like, no. But they might go, we should probably make an X-Men cartoon.
That'd be nice. Where's my Fillmore, too? I noticed on all those shows they brought back from the Disney one, there's no Fillmore on there.
I saw Doug wasn't on there, so, you know.
Oh, interesting. You know, I researched the Fillmore guy where I'm like, where did this guy go in life with this show? Turns out he had an amazing career writing for adult television. He was like head writer on Walking Dead for a bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he launched a great career off this kid's cartoon that was light years ahead of its time.
Well, good for him. There you go.
Yeah, good. It's so rare those stories have happy endings, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Why don't we get more Fillmore? Oh, because you became a massive star and are making a ton of money
He's
writing
busy.
prestige.
Yeah.
That's why.
TB says, maybe an intro show about different lesser-known characters that could be animated in live action, or a what-if one-shot series of alternate reality stories. I don't know. And here's some money for the lights. Hey, thanks, TB. That really helps out.
Like Marvel Encyclopedia, the series.
Right, like, or a history of the Marvel Universe, the show. Like,
hosted by the Watcher.
I mean, a Watcher show. I mean, Watcher should be on What If. So,
yeah.
If he isn't, I'll be disappointed. But, no, he is. I think he is in it.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, but yeah, I would love that. I mean, like, I would love to see any number of, like, adaptations or introductions or, you know, again, things that you wouldn't be able to see or are risky that could work in animation. More Thor, more aliens in space. Like, you know, I don't want to see, I certainly don't want, like, more Marvel street level stuff to be more in animation than live action. I'm like, dude, you can shoot it here. Come on.
It would probably be more of a Hulu thing, but come on, Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Come on, that was such a funny premise. Let's keep that going.
You're not going to see that.
I know. What about the Wild Adventures of Hercules? Come on, Hercules.
Hercules is a tough nut to crack.
He is.
But they got Thor working, but they had to just throw everything away.
I mean, Hemsworth can't do it forever, and obviously they seem to be transitioning on over to do the Jane Foster version. You know, hey, maybe have Herc in the background there. I'm mythological and fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Cast another one of Hemsworth's brothers in the role while you're at it. He only has like 6.
Yeah, no, it's true. So,
I'm Liam Hemsworth, and I'm Hercules.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
No, they need to cast one of them as Eric Masterson is what they need to do when they eventually do that.
That's exactly what they need to do.
I'm Liam Hemsworth, and I'm Thunderstrike.
I'm Thunderstrike. Dude, a Thunderstrike movie would kind of work. Like, honestly, at this point, like, just a Thor with big boots that wears a jacket with a ponytail, like, who's just, I'm happy to have long hair. I don't care.
And make it weirdly self-aware, where it's like, oh, you're that Thor who's not Thor. I wanted a selfie, but now I don't anymore.
Right. Well,
the Thor core. He can hang out with Frog Thor and everyone else.
I'd love to see. Well, I mean, like, we've seen a little bit of Beta Ray Bill. Come on.
We have, yeah.
Silver Cricket says, Foggy Nelson, the actor, walks that perfect line of competent and pathetic. No, I love that actor.
He really does.
I want him to be in the movie. Like, make more Daredevil with those people. Those 3 are great. You know. Hell, bring back David Tennant as Purple Man.
Yeah.
And just go, no, he didn't die, or nah, we're just throwing away Jessica Jones.
And that's the beautiful thing about that, because it's comic books and shit like that happens all the time. But I saw you die. No, you didn't.
Well, or just, this is just a different, we rebooted Purple Man and we just recast him. Or we kept the same actor.
Right, that was a robot or a clone or time travel or something. I'm not dead.
I'm fine with it.
No one ever dies.
No. But yeah, listen, before we go, I want to say thank you, everybody. Go to twitch.tv/ComicPOP and watch Tiffany play Code Vein. You don't need to be a Twitch user to watch, but if you are, follow the show, follow the channel, watch Tiffany play Code Vein. Enjoy the new emotes. Maybe if you'd like them, maybe she'll produce some emotes. We'll put them on this thing too. But it's a lot of fun. You're really gonna enjoy it if you like it. But otherwise, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. And if you want to hang out with us in person, go to Zap Comics this Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. in Wayne, New Jersey. You can just Google Zap 2 P's. Go to Zap Comics in Wayne, New Jersey. Hang out with us. Watch us shoot the show. See how the sausage is made. And you know, we'll hang out with you. It'll be a lot of fun. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. And listen, if you can't get enough of these two talking, go to patreon.com/ComicPOP and check out the bonus show, One Shots, where we talk about something else for a little while.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and it's only audio. You can download it on your phone. You don't have to worry about trying to use up your data plan while watching us. So that's it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm Sal.
I'm Joel.
So long. Thanks for
Bye
watching.
bye.